So, good afternoon. We started our next practical lessons number 12. It is our next task. I show the materials from our distance course on the platform of Moodle. And it is the material of practical lessons number 12, task H. You also can write it on your paper if you use some papers, for example, yes, or use some electronic documents. Microsoft Excel, Word, Notes, and something else which is possible for you. And today we started to know the information about warehouses also, but we know the information about distributions on warehouses, how it is can be possible to realize and how it can be to do it. So it is the main information about what we need to calculate it today. And I think it will be something new for you and maybe interesting. Calculate the parameters of the inventory management system. If the location of the distribution warehouse of spare parts for cars is given by coordinates. So we already have coordinates where is located our warehouse because in previous task we find it and now we already have it. So we use two tables, table 1 and table 2, with this information by every variant. So it is according to the option by the last digit in the list in the journal of full-time study. So for full study students, it is also for you. You know your variant by the list of students of your group. So the same variants which we used in previous tasks. And the coordinates of service station. We have some service station for car, because now we discuss that we have some warehouses and some roads by car. They are delivered some goods for our customers. So we have special service station for this car. It is car as the roads of system of equations. So determine the duration of delivery of spare parts from distribution warehouses to the service station of cars. If the delivery is carried out using tracks, is medium speed. So we used medium speeds of this car for our calculations. The possible delay of in delivery according to the contract correspond, we use some time with such positions of letter to the cost of supplying one spare part is. Also, we used these letters for these costs. The need of the service station for spare part of one nomenclature group per month. We also have this information how many we need goods, some goods, and we use only one nomenclature, but it is not very important for us, yes. The cost of storing one spare part also we have, and calculate the parameters of the inventory management system with a fixed order size and with a fixed time interval between orders. So we need to find today this time parameters. One time parameters, it is time between different deliveries, and we need to find how many cargo we need to deliver in our warehouse every this periods. So we need to find today this information. I show our tables with the information by variance. It is first table 1. It is for variance from 0 to 4 variance. And table 2 contains the same information. Now I show it, but for variance from 5 to 9. So we now used these two different tables for our calculations. I show which information we have now. First parameters, it is coordinates of the distributive composition are the roots of the system of equations in 1,000 kilometers. So we have the position where is located our warehouses. It is our coordinate in 1,000 kilometers. We also can write it on as a picture, for example. No, it we will be later, do later. The next parameters, it is the coordinate of the service station. It is next point, first point, it is our location warehouses, and next point, it is our service station. We need to find each. This coordinate, it is parameter x and y, and we need to calculate the systems of equations and find what is how many thousand kilometers is x and how many thousand kilometers is y, and find the location of our service station. The next parameter what we have, it is average speed of cars in kilometers an hour. We have this information, near 30 kilometers, yes. In some variants more, some variants less, and other. We also have duration of delay in the delivery of spare parts from the warehouse to the service stations. So how many time we need for it. Cost for the supply of one spare part, it is UH by 1 unit. We also have this information. We have the information about the need of service station for spare parts of one nomenclature group per month. So how many units by 1 month we need. For different variants, it is very different positions. And storage cost of one spare part also in UH by 1 unit. And number of working days per year, because it is a car company, and car company we know that doesn't work all years and have some holidays, so we find this information also in our table during the 1 year. And for other variants, the same information, but in other parameters. Now I recommended you to show the methodical recommendation for our task and started to calculate it, all these parameters. So we have special produce for calculation the parameters of the inventory management system with a fixed order size. So we can do everything what we can in our table. It is a step one by one, a special instruction for our calculation today. We have some formulas today, also for calculated it yet. And we need to do the same picture with fixed order site environment, inventory management system. When we fix it, how many cargo we need to deliver every time, yes, and to find these parameters for management the systems. And the next table, it is the same information, but we have fixed time interval between orders. So it is another systems for management of warehouses, and we need to know some another information when we fix a time interval between orders. We used also this special instruction and step by step do all these steps and use some formulas and also have the picture in finished. So I think we try to do the first part of this text today, and maybe the second part of this text with fixed time between different orders, maybe on the next practical lessons. But I think that it is better for understanding what we need to do between what is the difference, yes, between these two parameters. Now we started to calculate it first. Our instruction open, yes, this table free. And what we need to do, first that we need to do it is the need of service station for spare parts of one nomenclature group for years. In units, we can to find it in our according task. And the next step is optimal order size in units. We use special formula number 1. So maybe we need to use step one by one, and the next position we need also to find the parameters where is located our cargo station. because in first formula we can to calculate it of the optimal order size and carry out according to the Wilson formula. It is special Wilson formula. We know it maybe from logistics already or from other subject. We also can use already this formula. It is how many cargo we need to delivery in some positions. It can be warehouses or it can be some cargo station and other positions. Where we find Q with the index 0, it is optimal order size in units. So it can be in tons or something else. We use the same parameters units. And we need to know the information about costs on this delivery. Yes, we need to find the information about need of service station for spare parts of one nomenclature group per year in units, and how many costs we need to use for saving it in our positions. So first step, maybe you also can write the same table, but you can write first columns, for example, the number first, yes, and write second columns. I think maybe we need doesn't need to rewrite it, yes. We can to use only third columns and write, for example, 1 point and according the task where we need the information, the need of service station for spare parts of one nomenclature groups. How many units we need for our cargo? Yes, cargo station. Okay, try to find this information. We used anything for it. I think we find it. Mama. Okay. We have in one month, for example, and we can to calculate it, yes? Variance from 0 to 4 variance. We need to calculate it coordinate service station. I think we need to, one moment, yes? I show that maybe we calculated it before or maybe something another. First formula calculated according to the initial data according to the task duration. Okay. When we need some parameters of coordinates. Maximum composition, stock. Okay. Maybe we only here used these parameters, yes? Okay, so I propose to start it with finding these parameters. See please on this table 1 for variance from 0 to 4. First, we have the coordinate of our roads, distribution composition or our warehouses, yes, where it is located. But we doesn't have the coordinate of our station, service station. So please, first what we need to do, it is to calculate this first special system equations and find how many is your x parameter and how many is your y parameters in 1,000 kilometers. Please do each now, and after each we started from the table because it is be better and we find all information for each. So, which variants we have now, Darina? What is your variant? Please remember me.
Variant 4.
4. And Yana, your variant?
6.
No, your variant 10, yes, 0.
No, 6.
6. Okay. So maybe we need to do screenshot now. Yes, this information. Darina, please screen these systems. Yes, system of equations for you for variant. And I show for Yana also 6 variants. So you have this systems. It is hx plus 2y is equal 6. And the next 4x plus 6y is equal minus h. And it is a systems. You can use any what you remember the types of calculations for these systems. Everything what you want. Okay. And the next for 6 variants, it is our next table, and it is the systems on our third columns. Third columns, it is 2x plus 3y is equal 12, and 4x plus y is equal 8. Okay, please calculate it now. Okay, I think you need maybe not very big time, no, 4 or 5 minutes. If you are ready, please ask me or write in our chat, please. We need to calculate it. Okay. Okay, maybe I stopped on 2 minutes. Yes, our demonstration. And you can to have time, yes, for calculations. So I show the next table, our instruction, yes, for our task today. And please, oh, sorry, sorry. It is the windows for our, yes, distance courses. 1 minute. Okay. So it is. And we used our instruction for our today practical lessons. It is table number 3. And please write first parameters. You can also use, for example, in view as a table, or for example, only parameters 1. And it is how many it is parameters in units, kilometers, and other. Next step 2, for example, and other. It is normal. You can write this table. So first parameters, it is the nature of service stations for sphere parts of one nomenclature group per year in units. We need to find this information by our variance according to the test. So we have this information in our table 1 or 2 for different variants. So find these parameters. It is parameter number 3 from the end. Please see here, it is the need of service station for sphere part of one nomenclature group for months. But here we need 1 year, 1 minute. We also find only units, yes, group per year. So we can find how many units we need for 1 year. So we need to multiply these parameters by 12. Okay. For covariance for Dorina, for example, we find these parameters. It is third from the end. And for covariance, it will be 470. But it is units for 1 month, and we need to multiply these parameters to 12 because during the year we have 12 months. Yes, so we need to multiply it and to write in our first step. That first step is equal 470 multiplied by 12, and the result in units by 1 year. For Yana, also we find this information for 6 variants. It is our table number 2, 6 variants, and the third parameters from the end, also units by 1 month, and you have these parameters, it is 430. We also need to multiply it by 12 months during the year, and find how many units by 1 year we need for service station. Calculate it, please. Okay. And I open our table number 3. And the next step, number 2, it is optimal order size. We already show this formula for you, and now we calculated it. Okay, you find first parameters because later we need to calculate it, this number of steps one by one. We need to divide it or multiply it one by one, and it is a special instruction for us. Okay, first step we find, yes, you're already right, how many it is. Our next step, it is our formula number 1. I open now this formula for you. It is Q with index 0 is equal to, and we use these parameters. It is our square root, yes, or for example, we can to use quantity and use the minus 1 divided by 2, yes, for example, parameters, or use this as it show on our formulas. In numerator, we find such parameters as 2 multiplied by our cost, how many costs we need for each. We find this information in our table 1 or 2 for your variance. This costs and how many we need the service station. We have this information about and during 1 year the need of service station for spare parts of one nomenclature group for 1 year in units. So we find already this information during 1 year. It is our first step. So in our numerator we also multiplied by first step already. Yes. So 2, we multiplied by the cost. Now we find it in our, it is this second parameters. We find it in our table 1 or 2. And the third parameters, it is the result of our step number 1, which we find a few minutes ago. So now we find this parameter, second parameter, save is index, special index, and find in our table. For variance, it is false parameters from the end. Maybe it is useful for using here. Yes, it is table number 1, and the last column it is for variant, for example, yes. And false parameters from the end, it is 1 UH by 1 unit. So you multiply 2, you write in numerator 2, multiplied by 1, and multiply the result of step 1. And for Jana, also find this information for 6 variants. It is our third column in table 2. And our fourth parameters from the end, it is 9 UH by 1 unit. Please calculate it 2 by multiplied by 9 and multiplied by the result of step 1. It is our numerator. Yes. Okay. Right, please, for your variance. And we need to find our denominator. I open our formula number 1. Come back to our formula. And we need to divide it all each. We need to divide it by special parameters C with special index. We also find it in our table. It is the second parameters, it is table 1, for variant last column. Second parameters from the end. For variants, it is 50 UH by 1 unit, 50. And for Yana, for 6 variants, it is the second parameter, third column, it is 77 your age by 1 unit. So we divided on these parameters, calculated it. Okay. Calculated it now, and the result we find as special positions for each. It is square root from the result of it, yes, and we find step 2. Step 2, optimal order size in units. The result was will in units, so we need to round up the number, yes, in large directions. In large directions, for example, we have 3.4 units, so we need 4 units because 3 units it is doesn't enough for us. So find this information, please. Okay. Calculated it. Mhm. Okay. And it is our second step in units. We already have only 1 minute to the end of our first part of practical lesson, so I propose to do a break, yes, on 10 minutes, and come back at 15 o'clock, yes, 3 o'clock past morning, and come back on the same link. I wait you here, and we shall to do the next, our step number 3 in our this table. So I stopped now. If you have some question about the step 2, we also discuss it. But now we need to stop our practical lessons and to have break on 10 minutes. So I wait you after 10 minutes. Thank you.